Turn that on now because we don't want to get shut down. Hey, you guys. Hey. Thank y'all for tuning in to another great episode of LaQuinta's Chatterbox. I'm your girl, LaQuinta. Black Table Talk episode. Hey, this Saturday I am going to be going on a little early because I'm trying to beat the nighttime. You know, these old glass eyes here. You know, I put these glasses on normally when I bed hair. That y'all know. Got these big earrings on. Trying to get used to them. But yeah, what everybody doing today? Today is Saturday. I'm gonna be doing a podcast by myself again. But hey, that's okay. I had a guest, but my guest had to cancel. So it's just me. But yeah, so we're going to get right into the topic. The topic tonight is disrespectful children and the parents to raise them. Look, glasses up. Because, hey, disrespectful children. Am I one of the parents that raise them? Are you one of the parents that raise them? What do y'all think about disrespectful children? Because, I'm tending to see a lot of disrespectful kids these days. Do y'all think when you're a disrespectful child, you grow up to be a disrespectful adult? That's something to think about. Normally. And then you wonder, where do the disrespect come from? What makes them disrespectful? Do they only do that when they're out? Do they do that at home? Do they do that on a normal basis? Do they only do it at school? You have to ask yourself. My kids, when they were coming up, especially my younger son or my daughter, honey, school, they breezed right through it. But my oldest, class clown. But can I say disrespectful? Never. He played too damn much to be disrespectful. But what about the parents that have to go through disrespectful kids? And sometimes kids be disrespectful and their parents don't even know they're disrespectful. Because they act one way at home, and then when they get out in public or get around their friends or go to school, they act a totally different way. But then again, you got those kids that the same way they act at school, they act at home. The same disrespectful manner, grappling with their parents, having whole adult conversations, make decisions in household. I think that's a form of disrespect. When a child goes back and forth with a parent, I think that's a form of disrespect. When a child is out in public and knowing it's an adult around, they just cursing, saying everything. They don't care. Don't care of, their surroundings, who around them. No respect. So where did that come from? Is it learned? Is disrespect for children? Is that a learned behavior? Do it come from watching their parents be disrespectful? It's so much going to it that you have to ask yourself. I wondered about that because I be out sometimes and I be in stores or shopping somewhere and I hear young kids cursing and just talking any kind of way. Or I see stuff on Facebook where kids in class, they cursing the teachers out and saying whatever they want to say, and they're not worrying about the teacher calling their mom or nothing, or their dad. They don't care because they feel like they know they're not going to get in no trouble at home. So that makes me go back to the parents that raise them. Are you raising your kids to be disrespectful? Do you allow them to be disrespectful? When a teacher call you and tell you that they have disrespectful behaviors and they come back the next day with the same behavior like nothing changed. So do you think that make the teacher feel like, well, damn, I just called your parent and sent you to detention and you come back with the same attitude? like nothing changed. Is that because of, then some people go to, well, they may have behavior problems. Is it a behavior problem? Is it something mental? Or is it just, they just disrespectful fucking kids with no house training? I mean, it's something to think about, because that, I think that sometimes that goes into when you get adults that have no manners, disrespectful, say anything, act any kind of way. I tend to think they were disrespectful kids, because that's why they're disrespectful adults. Because you got some adults that's so just downright freaking mean and talk dirty, trash, and just have no sense of nothing. And you be like, have you always been like that? Or did this just happen? I mean, that's something to think about. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm be rambling because I got other topics that I'm gonna hit on as well. But this just happened to be one of them, and the most important one. And I say that because, like I say, I watch so much. I see other parents that's raising their kids, and they allow their kids to do things that, in my day, being a kid and raising kids, I just was not allowed to do, and my kids wasn't allowed to do. But you get people say, well, these new children, you got the, disciplining them in a new way. The old ways don't work and they're a little different. What makes them different? Is it because we put that mentality in their head to make them think they can act like this because they these new age kids? They new age, but they still doing the same crap that we were doing back then and trying to get away with it. But the only difference is some of our parents just weren't going. But you got some parents these days, well, we're going to talk about it and we're going to discuss it because they feel like kids should have a voice. And I'm a firm believer, yes, they should have a voice, but to a certain extent. When you just blatantly outright disrespectful, getting in an arguing match with me or any other adult, that's disrespectful. Because whenever you get through, it should never be an argument when it comes to a child and an adult. When I feel like when an adult say something, whether a child agree with it or not, sometimes you just got to do, what an adult says. Because sometimes the adult know more than you, and sometimes, adults may be wrong. Not saying that we're always right, but it's still a respectful way, I feel like it is, to get your point across. And that's something I watched today that these kids lack. They lack respect. They lack so much that you just, I say, is it in the food? Is it in what they're drinking? What is it? Because I think they're a little harder than we were. I think. I know they're a lot harder than my kids because, honey, these kids meeting up to fight adults. They have, like I say, no sense of respect. But you got some adults that put themselves in situations to where they're battling children. And once again, disrespectful kids and adults that raise them. What about, pointing the finger at the kids? Let's look at the adults that's raising them. How are we raising them? Are we raising our children to be equal as us? Because I think when you start allowing children to have say-sos and allowing children to sit and go back and forth with you, you allowing them to be your equal. So is that what today's generation coming to? We're allowing our kids to be our equal? I should say not. I think it's time for parents to stand up and start parenting again. Don't leave it up to the teachers to parent your kids. No, and I'm not saying just beating on them and doing that, because we all know beatings don't work. Because I had a friend of mine came to my shop earlier this week, Dunlap, and was talking about when he was a kid, his mama beat his tail every time he thought about doing wrong. But he knew he was gonna get those tail whoopings. He got them tail whoopings, but still did what he wanted to do. Some fact, because he know that pain was gonna last only a little bit. It wasn't no long lasting pain. So I asked him, I said, did your mom ever think about punishments? Because with my kids, that's what work, punishments. Because I could beat my son's tail and do the honey, that never worked. But when I started taking things that he loved and enjoyed from him, oh baby, he started straightening up. But like I say, it wasn't from he wasn't disrespectful in a way of having a disrespectful mouth and talking bad to a teacher. He was disrespectful as in disrupting the class, being the class clown, trying to make everybody laugh. So I had to ask myself, I know I'm beating his tail left and right, and he's still going to school. So, like I said, I started taking things that he loved. Back then, it was those the regular PlayStations and stuff, and his cell phone. Kids love their phone. Baby, when I took this here from him, he lost his mind. He couldn't handle it. Watched his sister and his baby brother have a phone and watching him on there and doing. Back then, they was on MySpace. So he was watching him on MySpace and all of that, and he couldn't get on, baby. It killed him. I'm gonna do right. So back to the story, Dunlap was like, when I asked him about the punishment, he said, you gotta think about the kids that they don't have nothing for their parents to take from them in order to add up to mean nothing to where they worrying about no punishment. So I was like, you correct. But that was back then. Things and kids got access to so much now, and parents making money now to where these kids got things and got money to where, hell, me at my big age, I don't even have. So I say this, Christmas time. I know before, prime example, right before Christmas, I know it was kids in behavioral schools, kids in alternative schools, kids in school suspension, kids getting suspended, kids doing things right before Christmas. Got out for the Christmas break, Christmas vacation, went back to school. Bet they had Jordans, name brand this, name brand that, fresh to death. Because you know why? Santa Claus was real good to them. So, should Santa Claus have been good to him? If your child was in school suspension, got kicked out of school right before Christmas, even in alternative school, you think they deserve Christmas period? Baby, Christmas should have been swiped away. Gifts anyway. They could have celebrated and talked about the true meaning of Christmas and watch everybody else opening up gifts, because they shouldn't have been able to enjoy unwrapping lavish things, especially if they didn't know how to act right before Christmas. But parents still went out, went broke, got behind on bills, robbed Peter to pay Paul to make sure those same disrespectful kids that got kicked out of school, that was getting in trouble, that was in school suspension, made sure they had Christmas. Made sure they had all the finer things. Made sure, baby, they was fresh when they went back. Designer this and designer that. I don't understand how kids in school rocking designer, especially if they didn't go to work and make the money to buy it. But that's the parents' fault. So it goes back to, we are the ones that raising them. What morals and values are we putting into them? How much work are we putting in them in changing their behavior, especially when they have bad behavior? Are we putting in the work, or are we that type of parent to where, because I've seen this, take my water. I've seen this to where the teacher calling and been calling every day for a month or every day for 6 months, and or all while school. Who got a parent? Who is it? The school? What they want? What they calling again for? Why they calling me? You think they want to be calling you? Do you honestly think they want to be on the phone, stopping doing what they doing to have to call you because your child is disrespectful or your child is disruptive in class? They don't want to be doing that. They got to take out the time from they break or teaching the class or coming up with something else to teach the class. They got to take out the time to get on the phone and call you and tell you about your disrespectful, bad behavior child that you don't want to hear about. That you tired of calling your job. Well, it's their job. They tired of your child stopping them from being able to do their job. So, like I say, the parents, the raising them. Sometimes we have to look at us. Sometimes when we know our kids are having behavior problems or disrupting in school, we got to take our work sometimes and go start going to them schools, show up on when the kids don't know we showing up. Surprise visits. We take off for everything else. We'll take off to stand in line for concert tickets. We'll take off to get our hair and nails done. Guys will take off just for the fun of it. How about guys, y'all take out some of the time and start going up to the school and seeing what your kid is doing in class. The reason that the teacher have to stay on your phone, or the reason your child is failing in school, and you because you thinking the teacher job is to do everything. How about let's take out some time and show up? And I'm not saying show up buying them all these things that you're trying to look good for your friends, or look good for, have them looking good for social media. I'm talking about showing up in them classrooms, showing up to them PTA meetings, showing up and showing your kid to where you're not going to stand for disrespect. You're not going to stand for them disrupting class. You're not going to stand for them being embarrassing to you in the community. Because that's why so many of our kids, our young Black men right now, from the age of 15 to 21, locked up. Because they were disrespectful kids, doing things, no matter if they had a disrespectful tongue, anything that you're doing that's wrong, that you know that you shouldn't be doing, is disrespectful. It's disrespectful and you shouldn't be doing it. But that's why the jails are full. That's why they have to continue to make and build new jails. Because we got these kids that's doing things out here as children, and we're raising them to be disrespectful adults that's doing things that land them in one or two places. One or two places. And I know we all heard them, one or two places, especially if you're an old school parent like me. One or two places. Locked up or dead. And I'm not trying to be that parent that on the front pew of my child burying my child. I'm not trying to be that parent that have to take out every Saturday to go and visit, get on the highway to go visit my son or visit my daughter. I'm not trying to be that parent. I hope you're not trying to be that parent. But we got so many that has gotten lost, and society has already swallowed them up to where what they gonna do? But that's why I say it's time to take control of our children. Take control of children that's not yours, because it takes a village. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. When you see a child being disrespectful, and I know sometimes you can't go to these kids and be like, young man or young lady, that's not the thing for you, or that's not a good look for you, because, honey, sometimes these kids will curse you out and be ready to fight you. So I get that. But that's what they're saying. Know the room. Read the room. Read the room and know the approach. You got to know the approach and how to go to them. You can't go to them talking at them. And my oldest son taught me that. You can't go to them talking at them. You got to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And pull their coattail and let them know. Young king, young queen. Because all young men, they are kings, and young women, they are queens. And we should expect for them to show themselves as such. But we have to teach them that, and that's leading by example. So y'all, let's not raise disrespectful kids so they don't grow up to be disrespectful adults. So the men are racing to become slaves. Because when they get locked up, that's exactly what they become, slaves. They have a master because they got somebody telling them when to get up, go to sleep, when to eat, when they can talk on the phone, how long they can talk on the phone, what they can eat. That's a master. You got a master and you a slave. So in a lot of these young boys, I say, and young girls too, because baby, these young girls, they just wilding out just as much as these boys. They can't wait to become a slave to society, a slave to the man. They can't wait. Because, honey, when you go out there and you doing wrong, or you being disrespectful in a manner to where you committing a crime or not following the law, you're going to become a slave. You're going to have a master, so get ready. Get ready. And all those friends that you're trying to look good for and go live for and let them see you cut up and let them see you act a fool and let them see you cursing and doggone well your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your auntie, your teacher, one of them on your friend list. And we all know, like y'all say, well, it's their choice to be my friend on social media. They know how I talk. If they don't want to listen, they don't have to be my friend. Come on now, that's just an excuse to be disrespectful. If you know you had them on your friend list, they watching, why be on there cursing and ready to ride out and trying to fight, shooting, showing your guns and doing all this? But as soon as somebody take you out, your mama, your dad, or your grandma, the ones that's raised your disrespectful ass, those the main ones. Oh, my son, my daughter didn't deserve. My son and my daughter good. They was put up all the pictures when they was young and vibrant and innocent, but they're not putting those same pictures up. So where they got guns or got drugs or got all, put those pictures up. Because now you don't put those pictures up, you don't show that, because then it show the reason that they put themselves in a predicament to be taken out of here. And I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too, because I'm a parent and I'm going to continue to be a parent as long as God got me on this earth and got me with the children that I have. But I feel like I'm a parent with my children's friends. All of them, my kids, they all my babies. When I see them doing wrong, baby, I check them. But see, my kids don't curse in front of me. Their friends don't curse in front of me. You're going to give me my respect because I respect you and I demand mine. Plain and simple. I have never had to worry about, like I say, that cursing now my son, that boy not cursing, but when I tell you he think he have an opinion and a conversation for everything. But I have to shut him down and let him know, baby, I got a saying, y'all, when it comes to my kids. You will never be meaner than me. You ain't meaner than me, player. I'm the meanest when it comes to that. I'm not finna go in no debate with one. There's something that I pushed out. When I say something, that's it and that's all. And that's being grown. That's not even, of course, when they was kids, but that's even being grown. But that's what a lot of parents need to do. Let's take back our kids. Let's take control. It takes a village. It takes all of us. When we see these young girls get on social media and got their cat out or talking crap and ready to fight, we ain't got to get on their live and engage and share that crap and egg them on. As grown as we are, egging them on, being a cheerleader for them. We ain't got to do that. The same way you doing that, you can jump in their inbox, or if you know them personally, you can call them up on the phone and just talk to them and let them know, and not just so much as let them know, but remind them of their worth. Remind them to straighten their crown. Remind them of who they are and who they belong to. Remind them of the respect that you want them to have, of the way you want to see them. How about let's do that? Because like I say, it takes a village. It takes all of us. Taking back our children, taking back being a parent and not being a parent that raised disrespectful kids, and those disrespectful kids growing up to be disrespectful adults. Because that's exactly what they will be. Disrespectful adults. And it's nothing worse than a disrespectful adult. You know a disrespectful adult when you go to a restaurant or go to an establishment and they have poor customer service. They don't know how to treat their guests. They don't know how to treat people that's paying them money. Because they hate to go a job that they work at. They don't do the best to their ability and go in and do what they're supposed to do. They got a whole darn attitude. They're talking to the customers any kind of way. And these customers are the ones that's, hell, that's how they getting a check. Because without a customer, you ain't going to get no check. And you feel like you can be disrespectful or talk to them any kind of way as if they won't take their money back. Because me, I'm not paying you to disrespect me. I'm not paying you to talk to me any kind of way. I just ain't going to do it. Not me. I work too hard for my money to pay somebody to disrespect me. They're just like, I never, if you know me personally, you know you have never too much seen me rocking braids. It's only one, it's two people that has, if I can recall, that has ever done my braids, ever. And that's my sister Lorinda. Honey, she was a no-go. Cause she braids so tight. She had me with the Chinese ass, and my ass already Chinese. I couldn't breathe. She had my hair so tight. So she was a no-go. I went on vacation. She braided my hair. I took my braids down on vacation and bought me a wig because my hair was that doggone tight. So I said, no, So the next person that I got to braid my hair was Precious. We all know her, make the wigs, the one that's honey do her thing. She, my girl, Precious. Honey, she braid my hair, but she braid to the God and kept me slayed. But I have to, braid and take a long time. My honey, impatient. But them the only two people ever braid my hair. But when it came to my sister, I said, you know what? Precious didn't have a heavy hand, but she did my hair the way I liked it, the way I wanted it. I just had to sit too long, and I don't like sitting. If it's longer than an hour, that's too long for me. But my sister, I used to say, I'm not finna pay you to hurt me. And that's what the hell I was doing, paying her to hurt me. They're just like, I'm not finna pay no business that don't have good customer service, and I'm paying my money. I'm not finna go to a restaurant and tip a waiter or no waitress that don't have good customer service that I was not pleased with. And to me, that comes from respect. As long as I've been in business. And I'm cleared up because I thought, I got my, honey, I just didn't add my time up and add my days up when I had interviewed somebody earlier in December. We was talking about how long I've been in business. I thought it was 10 years, but damn it, it's been 14 years. 14 years that I've been in business. And I said that to say this. in 14 years have I ever had a complaint of poor customer service. Not once. Not a poor customer service. You know why? I'm not a disrespectful person. My mama didn't raise me to be disrespectful, regardless of how my mom. If y'all know my mama, y'all know my mama. But not regardless of her, she raised me to have respect for adults, to have respect for anybody, especially adults. So I say that's why I've been in business so long. Business ain't never been shut down, never no bad, nothing, no black eye on in my business, nothing. Because I've always had good customer service. And that comes from respect. So once again, parents, let's not raise and tolerate disrespectful children. Let's nip it in the bud. Let's stop it while they're children. Let's stop it when they're young. Let's don't let our kids, when they babies, barely can talk. Don't let them kids be. Don't let your kids be out here cursing. Y'all act like that's a fucking trend now. That young kids that can barely spell out here cursing. Out here talking disrespectful. Y'all think it's funny and y'all say it's cute. What makes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? What makes them cute cursing? What makes them cute being disrespectful or talking disrespectful or patting mine after an adult? What makes that cute? What makes that adorable? What makes it funny? That you raising a disrespectful child that's going to grow up to be a disrespectful adult. Because if you allow them to play being disrespectful, trust and believe, baby, they will be disrespectful. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are raising disrespectful adults. So y'all, come on, y'all. Let's take back being parents. Let's take back our children. Let's take back and glorify it takes a village, and let's continue to be a village. It takes us all. It takes us all. Come on, y'all. Let's do it together. Even though my kids is grown, I'm raising grandchildren. Granddaughters is that. I want my granddaughters to grow up to be queens, to be respectful young women in the community, to be leaders. I want them to attract great young men that's growing up to be kings and being leaders in the community. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm raising. That's what, honey, a part of my village. Like I said, I've never heard my kids, especially not my grandkids, cursing, even playing cursing. Never. Even though, honey, not saying my kids don't curse, but not in front of me. I've never heard them. Because I know my youngest boy is 18, baby. From what I heard, because he'll send a meme or emoji in a minute. They say he cuss like a sailor. He think, honey, when you curse them out, they know you getting your point across. But he ain't never did in front of me, because he know I don't play it. And he ain't never did in front of no adults. Now, what he do around his peers, that's different. My oldest son is a rapper. Shout out to DMP Bandman, my oldest. Shout out to you, baby. Y'all go check them out. But hey, lyrics just as filthy as they want to be. Every other word is cussing. Cuss this, cuss that. But have I ever heard him curse? Have any adult can come and tell me your son has been disrespectful and disrespected me and cursed me out? Or I heard, no, my daughter, next Supreme Judge Tiana, I claim it. I'm manifesting it. I ain't never heard her cuss. I think my son, my youngest son, said one time she got stung by a bee when they was at the track, and she said a curse word. But other than that, I ain't never heard her curse. Never heard her be disrespectful to adults. I ain't raising them. I ain't going. I'm old. I believe in that old school teaching. Y'all better come bring it on back. Y'all see the name LaQuinta Chatterbox. But that's my time. I said I was not gonna be on here long. I'm gonna get off of here. But again, y'all, let's take back our children. Let's not raise disrespectful children and make sure they don't grow up to be disrespectful adults. That's my time. I'm your girl LaQuinta. And hey, remember, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And let's always try to have positive and great things in us so our light will shine. And I'm going to say this before I get off. Your girl, LaQuinta Chatterbox and Salon Studios, we are getting ready to do our very first annual. Can y'all say annual? Our very first event together in the Chatterbox studio. I hope y'all buy tickets. We're going to have a vision board party. And when I tell you it's going to be elegant, it's going to be nice. You could not even imagine walking into a vision board party the way you walk in those doors and see how it's going to be. Tickets is only $25. Y'all know how I get down when it comes to cooking with Q. That's going to be on the podcast. Y'all know how I cook. The ones that know me, y'all know how I get down. But we're going to have a whole spread. All the fine cocktail, the premium drinks. If you've ever been to the boutique, you know the type of drinks we serve. We're going to have all that. All the supplies you need for your vision board. We're going to have it here. Just $25. Yeah, the supplies alone, $25. So I feel like we're doing this as a treat. So y'all come on, get your tickets. It's going to be April the 18th at 7 o'clock. We want to be night because we had a night vibe with your silk pajamas. I want y'all come with your silk pajamas because I'm coming with mine. It's going to be nice. I ain't going to give away too much. But y'all, hey, come on to our first annual. Can you say annual? Because it's the first one. We doing this. We don't know how often. We'll let y'all know. All depends on how this one go. Will it be twice a year, 3 times a year, once a year? All depends on how big it get. But the ones that's gonna be here, baby, y'all gonna have a blast. Vision board party. And one thing before I get off, the stigma of a vision board. Honey, a vision board do not have to be in the beginning of the year. It don't have to be at the end of the year. It don't have to be in the middle of the year. Your vision is when your vision start. No matter if your vision is a 90-day vision or a month vision or 6-month vision or a 3-month vision. It starts when your vision start. And we're going to start this thing, like I say, April the 18th. Tune in. Stay tuned. I'm your girl again, LaQuinta. Until next week, be blessed.